has landed in Saudi Arabia, marking the first stop of his 4-day tour of the Gulf. Fighter jets escorted Air Force One into Riyadh, where Trump was welcomed with a 21-gun salute and a royal reception by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This is Trump's first major foreign trip of his second term, and Riyadh has changed since his last visit in 2017. More openness, more investments, and fewer restrictions. Even American women at official meetings weren't required to wear headscarves, something unheard of back then. On the table, a potential $100 billion arms deal and major US-Saudi business partnerships. Trump will also address the Saudi-US Investment Forum later today, joined by VIPs including Elon Musk and executives from OpenAI and NVIDIA. But beyond trade and deals, Trump faces growing pressure over Gaza. Arab leaders want him to push Israel for a ceasefire, open aid corridors, and bring the remaining hostages home. Trump has said he wants the war to end, but questions remain over how much influence he's willing to use on this trip. Meanwhile, Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff met with Eden Alexander, a US-Israeli soldier recently freed after 19 months in Hamas captivity. The two spoke with Trump and Netanyahu by phone. Washington says it's committed to securing a full ceasefire and freeing every last hostage. All right, Martin Sa, international affairs expert, is with us on the broadcast. He's joining us all the way from Frankfurt. Martin, appreciate you being here. Well, like I said in my opening monologue, that it's not the same Saudi Arabia, but is it the same Donald Trump? That is exactly what the world needs to know when it comes to Israel and the relationship that they share with the Americans, because obviously the Saudis are concerned about this growing conflict.
Well, I think Donald Trump is still aligned with his principles about being in contact more with this more capitalist or free market countries such as Saudi Arabia or the Emirates. And he's doing his best for approaching these countries towards Israel. As he did before, he did the Abraham Accords between the Emirates and Israel, but now the situation is a little bit more complex. Right now, because of the war in Gaza, these type of countries are no longer putting their relations with Trump or the US before their support towards the Palestinians, who now is more complex. Trump needs to decide whether his ambition for trade, for increasing his dominance, or not dominance, but his businesses in the Middle East are more important than his alliance with Israel. Israel and the US they have been one of the most closer allies, and this is what is taking place right now.
Martin, do you think that the relationship between the Americans and the Saudis has changed over the last few decades? It's no longer about oil; it's all about influence and power. But of course, Donald Trump does get swayed, when he's treated this way by MBS.
I think the policy of Saudi Arabia will never change. I mean, I don't think they're gonna ally with the Chinese or Iran. I mean, their economy is based on making trade with the US. So I don't think their basic policy is gonna change. I think what is changing and what is not taken for granted is the Palestinian issue. Before the war, Saudi Arabia was about to approach Israel. The Palestinians were not on their focus, but after the war, it has been changing because of the casualties in Gaza. So I think the situation here is not their relationship with Trump. I think it's the same, it's stable, but the issue between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
All right. Martin, appreciate you joining us and giving us those insights. Well, that's all we have time for now. We will continue to bring more